Yes, everybody, welcome back to Football United TV. What a glorious weekend we've had of the Premier League coming back to our lives. I'm so grateful for this. I've got Talk MU in the house with me. I've got Anthony as well, United fan, Arsenal fan, me, United fan. Miseries today, of course. We will talk about that. We're going in reverse. We're talking about City, then we're going back in time. We're talking it all the way back to the Arsenal game on Friday. But you know what's coming right now, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, tongue-tied right now because I'm so hot and it's so difficult right now. But here's the intro. Hello, everybody. Yes, welcome back to the Premier League weekend show. I am joined today by two special guests, two of my favourites as well, might I add. Don't tell anybody else. Keep it quiet. Anthony and Talk MU, guys. How you doing?
Not too bad, Martin. You?
We'll discuss that. I'm happy, but the result that we've had today, I'm pretty sure Talk can understand my feeling as well. Talk, how are you?
Fuming.
Yeah. That's the way the show's going to be today. It is. It's going to be that way because me and Talk are United fans, of course. Anthony's had a brilliant result this weekend as well, might I add. We will talk about that. Talk says yo, and Solo says big up, gentlemen. So let's just crack on straight to it then, starting in reverse. And we're talking about West Ham 0, Man City 2. Haaland scoring his second goal, I believe. Brilliant from them. Not as dominant. I think they have looked in the past, but I think that might gel together eventually. What did you make of the game, Anthony? For West Ham and for Man City, I think West Ham maybe need to add some squad depth, don't they, in order to push on to Europa League places.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. It was a good win, obviously, for Man City, winning 2-0 and keeping a clean sheet. And, that's, to me, that's important on the first game of the season. You want to get off to that winning start, And obviously 2 goals by their main striker they got this season, Haaland. So you had to wish him well. But in the game that obviously I was watching today, you can't fault West Ham. I don't think they played that bad. I thought they played good football. Just obviously like what you said, they do need a couple of more signings because I still think they're lacking that certain depth within the team. Obviously, if they want to get up and fight for the Europa League season, this season. So I mean, that's still in their grasp, isn't it, really? And they're the only ones that can do that, being a team of that caliber. So. But yeah, they played really well today, I thought, despite the scoreline. Their star striker they signed, that Scamka, I think he was on the sub bench. I think he come on late on through the game, but he looks promising as well. But he was one of our two teams, Arsenal and Man United. They were both interested in beginning part of the season. So obviously he picked West Ham, and I hope he does well, and all the best to him.
Yeah, I mean, look, you saw Lingard maybe going to Nottingham Forest, and West Ham missed out on that transfer buy, and they've kind of left that in the background, haven't they, Talk? And look, Man City, we always kind of predicted that we're going to win this game today. I mean, especially with Haaland up top. It was a terrific goal he scored at the end there as well, like one-on-one, cruise through the keeper. You're never going to beat a guy like Haaland to score that certain goal, mate. Talk, what did you make of this result?
I think, firstly, West Ham, look, they were okay. West Ham, listen, I've been saying it for years. It's like Tottenham. All the hype with Tottenham and West Ham. Listen, they're not going to do anything. West Ham had their ceiling reached. And David Moyes tried to break through his ceiling. I said this on the watch along. in the Frankfurt game in the Europa League, and they failed miserably. So that's where they're at. And you know what? They'll be very lucky indeed to get anywhere near the European spots this season, in my opinion. Although lots of teams have strengthened around them, etc., etc. But again, look, you're coming up against it's first game of the season. You play Manchester City. You know you're a little bit light in your squad. So why do you go and allow Manchester City to just like treat you like a load of kids? Because that's exactly what City did. David Moyes has got to have a little bit more about him in this game and say, you know what, lads, look, it's highly likely that we're going to get beat here, whatever happens. So let's just go out there and give it a go. Let's go out there and give it a go. Get players up the field, get up high up the pitch, get them pressing, get them in their faces, and try and make it difficult for them. You're going to get beat, whatever. So you might as well do it having a go. So I think, for me, I think West Ham deserved to get beat with 76% possession to Manchester City. Come off it at home. That's crazy. You can't do that. That's like you might as well have just rang Pep before the game and said, "Yeah, Pep, don't bother coming down, mate. I'll just give you 2-0 now," right? Because it's as simple as that. You can't do that with Manchester City, and with the fact that they brought in the most lethal goal scorer in the world in Haaland, and an exceptional player in Julian Alvarez, alongside all the other players that they've got, Phil Foden, Bernardo Silva.
Well, yeah, the transfer window's not even finished yet, so you don't even imagine what they could do in the next 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, there's more to, there's more. Maybe Man City may well, do a deal with Bernardo Silva if he wants to move on and they bring somebody else in. We just don't know yet. Yeah. But I think for Haaland, man, he's an absolute, he's a scary player. If I was a defender, I'd be frightened out my skin, because not only has he got the power and the pace, the short turner pace, etc., but his movement. Watch his movement in that box. It's ridiculous.
If he was a security guard at a local nightclub, I'd be scared then.
Yeah, you ain't going there. You ain't going there, bro.
Imagine him just standing at the steps with a fag, like you ain't coming in. I'd be like, you know what, Haaland, Erling, like it's an early night for me, mate. I'm gonna go home. Like he's a big lad and a rare number 9, isn't he? He's a rare number 9. You don't usually see these days, right?
The other thing is Pep subbed him off at like, was it 76 minutes or something like that? I can't remember what the time was.
Yeah,
it
was. Yeah, you're right.
There was still a lot of time to play. He looked a little bit disappointed because he was on a hat trick. Now I'm sort of questioning this. I'm going thinking, hold on, why has he done that then? Is he? Because at that point I was thinking, whoa, Pep's proper taking the mickey here. It's like FIFA for Pep. It's like FIFA. He's like, the girls are in the bag. I'll just take you off. You know what I mean? I'll just pop Alvarez on. And Bernardo Silva take off Haaland, and who else was the other one who came off? Can't remember now. But you have to look. If it's not because of injury, and he's just like, right, you've done a number now. You've done your job. I'm taking you off, resting your legs, keeping you ultra fresh, ultra ready for every game. Because if that's his Pep's strategy going into this season, I said it was it yesterday or the day before? Manchester City could actually steamroller themselves into an unassailable lead with Haaland and take him off after he's done what happened today. He scored the goals, right? You don't need to do anything else. Just come and chill. Rest for the next game. You've done the damage.
Well, yeah, it's preparation, isn't it? You know that you've got a busy fixture coming up. I know he's not going to be in the World Cup because Norway didn't make it, so there's no jeopardy there. So he's always got time to rest during that competition. But I definitely agree with you on that. Like, if you scored his 2 goals, you're comfortable, you're in the lead, take off your best player at the 70th minute, blah, which is worked in Pep's favour, right, Anthony?
Yeah, it works in his favour. I mean, when you're 2-0 up, your star striker's got 2 goals, making his debut. Bring him off. I mean, Man City's like what Talk said. Man City's got so much players that they can swap around and rotate in that team. Is just totally unreal. So, but yeah, I mean, take him off and rest him in that until the next game. I mean, they did play really well, Man City. I thought the passing today was good. Kevin De Bruyne had a good game as well, and a few of the others as well. But yeah, they're going to be. I think they're going to win the Premier League again. To be honest with you, Matt. That's
Very
my
early
feeling.
to
So
say that, isn't it, Anthony? Very
it
early
is,
to say.
it is very early. I know you get sort of judge on the first games of the season, but I still think they've got that talent there. It's like what I said. They've got so many players in that team. I mean, they can afford to sell another player, and they still have so many good players and quality to rotate, throughout that, team when they play. Depending on what formations and all that they play, they've got everything there at that team. They're going to take some beating, to be honest with you. And yeah, but I can see them winning it this season. That's my opinion. And maybe next season. Yeah, you never know.
Okay, yeah. Apparently you do. But put a bet on it now. I dare you. I double dare you. You've ever heard that double dare? I
Yeah.
double dare.
Double Dare, yeah.
All
I
right,
think
name
that
the
was in the
film.
film
Name the
Dumb
film.
and Dumber.
Yeah, what is
No.
the film?
No, I know the film.
I've forgotten
Double
it. But
Dare. You can't triple stamp a Double Dare. So I swear it was Dumb and Dumber, wasn't it?
No. It's Pulp Fiction.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
Say what
yeah.
again?
Now you
I
mention it.
dare, I double dare you, mother.
I was going to say
Yeah.
Reservoir Dogs. I was very close, but
No.
yeah, well done,
Pulp
Talk.
Fiction.
Well, talking of fiction to non-fiction to fiction to reality as well.
God.
Man United 1, Brighton 2. Now, Talk, I know you did your watch along on the Man United agenda with Mr. B. Big up to Mr. B. And frustrating. I watched it myself. I saw the frustration, not in your eyes, of course, because you don't show your face. But I saw your eyes in your voice, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
How did you feel about this result, mate? For you, Eric Ten Hag's first major game for Man United, something that really was important to sort of set the sails upon the ocean of success. Didn't go quite to plan.
I think they've let him down massively. Big time let Eric Ten Hag down. And like I said, I'm not going to jump on over to Eric Ten Hag here. Maybe, look, people will ask the question, oh, look, maybe the selection, maybe the substitutions, the time of the substitutions, blah, blah. But let's just be clear on one thing. They were shocking. The whole team was absolutely... First 10 minutes, as I said on the watch along, that first 10 minutes, we looked calm, we looked collected. It wasn't like disjointed like it has been last season. So I was like, oh, okay, they're not quite moving the ball as quickly as I'd like, but it looks like they know what they're doing. But after that, it just went absolutely south, total big time south. There's players on that in that team who I said before the season, you know what, yeah, let's give them a chance. However, when you talk about giving players a chance, you're talking about players here that have already been there for a good couple of seasons now, lots of experience, right? You expect them to learn in game from the mistakes. They're not learning from the mistakes. Bruno Fernandes, he does the same mistakes time and time again. Scott McTominay is not good enough. I don't care how long you spend with Eric Ten Hag, right, trying to coach him. He's barking up the wrong tree with that player. He's just not good enough for Manchester United. Rugby, he can play rugby, excellent, but he's not off Manchester United's midfielder, not by any stretch of anyone's imagination. The rest defence, he even mentioned it himself, failed. So you'll have two banks of 5. 5 to be in the attacking zones, another 5 rest defence. And we collapsed. It just totally failed.
Do you feel there was no midfield talk? Do you feel that we are lacking the people that we've left go, like Matic, Mata, Pogba, Lingard? Mm-hmm. We need to at least replace them with at least one player. I know that Ericsson was a free transfer. That is a very good buy, but that's a sensible transfer, not necessarily a statement transfer. And when I say statement transfer, I don't mean go get the most expensive player. I just mean statement is in like, this guy you can build your team around.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, look, the Frankie de Jong business, we don't know exactly. We can only surmise from reports that we get given to us by people who we trust. So you take it from that. I'm reading it. He's just not keen on coming to Manchester United. No. It's not keen. Otherwise, I think it would have happened by now, because United surely have already crossed the hurdle of his backdated wages. That conversation has been had, surely, right? So therefore, that only tells you one other thing, is that he's just not convinced. If that's the case, okay, cool. But, big up to you. You want to go somewhere else, that's fine. let's now go and get somebody else then. You know, if it's a Ruben Neves or it's a Matthias Nunes from Sporting, who I really like.
Well, yeah, talk is De Jong not got like another 3 years on his contract at Barcelona?
Yeah,
or 2
he has got some crazy contract on it.
You can just see it out like Lingard did, can't he? And just go, you know what, sod you, I'm staying here. Play me or you don't.
Yeah, but it's going to be it'd be very damaging to his career. I mean, why would he do that? Surely he's got to think, you know, look, let's come to some agreement with the purchasing club and the selling club, i.e. Barcelona, in terms of this wages. If Chelsea are in for him, and the conversation, Chelsea say, look, we'll pay a massive majority of them wages, and Barca say, okay, well, we can pay the rest. Then, you know what, it's like, well, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? Go and do the business. You can go and live the London lifestyle. You can go and play for Chelsea, whatever, it's 2-3 seasons, whatever. And or even a loan. You know, it might come down to where Barcelona come to some arrangement with him and say, look, we'll loan you out. You know, or with a buyback option. I mean, surely there could be a deal done here where they can say, look, because he's not, how old is he, Frankie de Jong?
25.
He's 25. Okay, so, you know, two seasons away, or even a season, wherever he goes, right? Then Barcelona get themselves sorted out. You can always go back if there's a buyback clause in there when they're moving forward.
Would you want that as a United fan, though? Someone to like want to just skip and then skip back?
Bro, as it stands right now, like you've just hit the nail on the head, we are, until we actually lift up some silverware, major silverware, i.e. Champions League or the Premier League, right? We are going to struggle massively with getting players to come to the club.
Yeah.
So if we have to have short-term deals for good players to help us achieve that lifting of the cup, to get us back in the limelight, where people are going, oh, wow, Manchester United are back, then players will take notice and go, oh, okay, then. Right, okay. And for me, this is just how it has to be right now, because we cannot. It's either that or we just go down the youngster route. One of the two.
Well, that's a good kind of segue to ask Anthony what he feels, because he's obviously an Arsenal fan and you're in the similar position, I think, of trying to rebuild, maybe actually a year ahead of seeing like about what Arsenal really need to do to get back into top 4. What do you think in the retrospect of Man United, mate, as an Arsenal fan, Anthony? Well, what is it? Have we got to do similar to what you guys have done, or
I roughly think that you've got to think this is Ten Hag's first game. You know, obviously when Arsenal signed Arteta, that wasn't the man for me. You know, there's two seasons we finished in the same place. We finished 8th in 2 consecutive seasons. I think it might be like that for something for Manchester United. It's depending. Obviously, Man United fans says that Ten Hag, he's got the backing of the board. Whether he adds is one thing. You know, we'll soon see this. But you are a couple of players short, like I said before the stream started. You know, you definitely need a DM in there, because McTominay is a waste of time. For me, mate. You do need a striker that can get you 20 goals plus a season. That'd be your first thing, and then you got to look back on. Then you come back and you got to look at your right back as well. Your right backs are not that strong. I know you signed Ajax's left back, that young guy. But
you mean Feyenoord Malacia, yeah?
Oh, sorry, Feyenoord. Yeah, I do apologise. Yeah, Feyenoord's. Yeah, so that's a good player as well.
There is a defender from Ajax that we did buy as well, Martinez.
Yeah, there is a defender as well. Is from Ajax? Yeah, that Martinez. Yeah, but yeah, you know, I think you have got you have signed a couple of good, you know, a few good players this season, but you've got to look at the because I mean, it seems like Ten Hag wants to play the today it was 4-2-3-1, wasn't it? You played the formation, and you think it was, yeah, and you know, I you've got to look at in consideration that McTominay is not there. Obviously, you got rid of Pogba, which you know is a good thing, because that was a bad vibe around the team, wasn't it? You know,
he's injured now, isn't he?
He's injured. Yeah, I read that he's injured now. Yeah, so it's one of those things. You desperately need a DM in there and a striker. I think if you get that, you most probably, how I predictive, predicted Man United might get sixth this season. If you ain't going to get that, I think you struggle to most probably. You may finish lower than sixth. To be honest with you,
I'll say what I said the other day, Anthony. And again, this goes down now to the owners. Is our transfer window does not match the ambition of the club.
No, it doesn't, because of the value of the players you bought in. You know, we're exactly the same talk. I mean, our dearest player we signed this season, you know, obviously is at 45 million. You know, we don't seem to be spending that going over that 50 million pound mark, and it is like that when you finish in like sixth and below sixth. But like what I said, you need to finish in the top four to obviously get these players in to splash out anywhere, say between 60 to 80 million pounds on a player. You have to. You've got to finish in the top four to do that. You don't. You're cutting that down at least to half, and that's a fact. And that's what we've done. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm happy with the two signings we've got for Man City. The players Jesus and Zinchenko, because he was good. But to be honest with you, we need a little bit more depth within our squad, because everybody's moaning about Thomas Partey and Xhaka in the DM, more so Xhaka. So, you know, I think we need a right back in the DM as well to finish our team off, and maybe a striker as well, because I don't rate Eddie Nketiah. You know, I think he's a championship player. But that's my opinion. But it's like what I said with Ronaldo, going back to Manchester United. I think with Ronaldo, I think if he wants to go, he can go. I don't think he was in the game today when he come on. You know, I think he played 35 minutes. The sweat that was running off him, he just looked knackered to me.
Yeah,
you know, Ronaldo. It was just something. It wasn't there. But I know he's getting older. But
well, yeah, no, but he just wants out. I just think he sees exactly what the fans see, and you know what I mean. That's why I feel like for him, I'm like, look, I love Man United, but even he loves Man United, and he can see the way that it's been running. It's like, this is just not the club that I first came to all them years ago. It's lost its. What on earth's going on? Like, I'd rather be anywhere else. Even Sporting Lisbon is better right now than the way that Man United is being run, and as a player, even if I played there, Anthony, I'd want to probably go somewhere else.
Because I think he's got the is it a champion? He's got the Champions League record, is it? And basically, he doesn't want that to be broke as well. That's another side of a story I have heard. So,
but he's never played in the Europa League. I'd like to see him go and win that as well. So, if he wants to talk about records, then go and at least win everything you can win, because that's the only one he hasn't. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's the only one. Yeah.
But let's move on, because I'm dying of talking of Man United, unfortunately. Leicester 2, Brentford 2. What do we make of this result? Brentford obviously losing a few players as well this season. Ivan Toney is probably their main guy. Leicester not doing good in the summer transfer window at the moment, losing quite a lot of players. I know Maddison's looking like he might leave. Tielemans as well. And of course, their centre back, is it for Firmino? Yeah,
it's Firmino. Yeah, I think it's Chelsea. It wants him in it for about. I think they've got a price now for about 75 million or something round about there.
I'm hearing, they go, you know what? We sold Maguire for 80, so let's at least get near that. What did you make of this result? This is good for Brentford, I think, and really bad for Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah, it is a bad, good result for Brentford. It's bad for Rodgers. Like you said, Matt, you know, obviously these players, Maddison and Tielemans, they're on about leaving. I don't know if Brendan Rodgers got any players in plan to replace them. That I don't know. I think with the Tielemans deal, I got to be honest with you, I think it's going to go right to the end of the season. Sorry, not season. The end of the transfer window. So that's what I reckon on that one. Who he goes to, I think it'd be out of, obviously it's our two clubs again, Arsenal, Manchester United. So, you know, but I mean, to be honest with you, Tielemans is proven obviously Premier League standard. He is a good player.
Yeah.
I do like him. Whether he goes to Arsenal or to yourselves, you've got to give him
Well,
that respect.
he came from Monaco, didn't he, Anthony? And he was really good at Monaco,
Yeah.
and that's I think the reason why Leicester bought him, because he was a good buy. He was in the same team that Falcao was, etc., and a few other players like matey boy for Liverpool right now. Is it Fabinho? Was it Monaco? No,
Fabinho, yeah. So he's but it's like what you said. But trouble is though, it is a bit poor. I mean, obviously, I don't know whether who they're going to get if they do lose Madison as well. So that's two main players, and I could see if those two players end up leaving, I got to say I think Ndidi would be the next one.
Indeed, he will.
Yeah, indeed he will. But yeah, I think they're going to lose a few. I think they're going to lose a few stars now, and I mean, Vardy's close now to retirement age. I mean, he's 36 at the end of this season, Jamie Vardy. So, and the other strikers they've got there in Daka and what's the other one? Imanati or whatever his name is. I don't think they've got the standard to be prolific goal scorers when Jamie Vardy does actually leave. So
Jamie Vardy's only important right now for what his wife's losing in court against Wayne Rooney's missus, isn't it?
Yeah.
People saying I think he's got to move to DC United. I was like, Vardy going to DC United with Wayne Rooney as manager? It's not going to happen, is it, Chalk? But
no.
what never. Leicester 2, Brentford 2, of course. Talk. What did you make of this result? Like Anthony said as well, I think Leicester are in a little bit of a pickle. Brentford probably could get through this second season syndrome phase that a lot of clubs do have when they get promoted. Yeah,
I think the advantage that Brentford have got is that Thomas Frank, I like him. I think he's a great manager because, like I said it last season, Brentford, they can do a bit of everything and do it pretty good. They're pretty good at everything, Brentford, under that manager. And with Ivan Toney there up front, banging the goals in, I think you might be right. They probably will be safe as houses this coming season. Whether they'll finish in any kind of European spot, we'll have to wait and see. But I think they've got more than enough to keep themselves safe, and it's an ongoing investment process for them. But Leicester are a bit all over the place, aren't they? I think they're in a moment of transition at the minute, Leicester. And again, the ambition of the club, and you would expect so because they did win the Premier League, they did win the FA Cup. But I think it's just a patience thing for Leicester fans right now. They've got to realise that, what they've tried. Brendan Rodgers tried with a group of players, it just didn't work for him. So the players, you've got to move them on.
Well, I think Vardy's the only player left now that won the Premier League in the side still. Kasper Schmeichel just left for Nice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Transition, isn't it? Now it's transition period for them, but you can't expect it to be sort of miracles overnight. But again, when you reflect this result on our result, this is a great result for Leicester, considering, like I said, where they are and what they're going through at this moment. So I think Brendan Rodgers will be disappointed, obviously, that he's not got the 3 points, but he's come away with a point, for Farney, yeah.
I said Vervana, but yeah, same. Sorry, Talk.
So I think, I think they need to invest. They need to invest, Leicester, and there's, like you said, there's still time in the window yet. There's still like 20, however many days are left in the window. Plenty of time.
3.5 weeks, yeah. Would you say?
Yes. Yeah, plenty of time. Yeah. They can do some good business in that time. So, but I think for Leicester, I don't think there's any danger of them going down or anything like that. It's just a case of, their ambition is obviously a European spot, because I think we all know that challenging for the Premier League is totally off the table at the moment.
It's got to be sensible transfers for them, isn't it? Some people to bring in that might not necessarily be in the market that other clubs are looking at. They can get over the line, and with Brendan Rodgers as your manager, he can definitely make them fit better than other teams probably would be able to. What do you make of Everton 0, Chelsea 1? Now, I thought Everton played very well. I feel disappointed for Frank Lampard. Everton haven't really done anything in the transfer window either. I know they've got lots of issues with the whole new stadium rebuild that's going to happen in a couple of years, and the owner maybe looking to sell. which is not very good for Everton fans, I know. But Chelsea didn't look that great either, though. What do you think, Talk?
Yeah, I mean, Lampard, he has got a difficult job on his hands there at Everton. There's no two ways about that. But I don't know. I just think, again, that's another long process for Everton with Lampard. But what they've got to do as a club, no matter what happens to the purchase, the sale of it, they have to stick with him. They have to stick with him and not start flapping and panicking. I think he's got enough to keep them in the league. I think there's enough there for them to fight to keep themselves in the league. There's no two ways about that. But it's going to be a long job for Frank Lampard to get Everton to be able to get a European spot, because there's so many teams that are, in my opinion, just a lot more settled and even maybe a lot more honest with themselves in terms of how they know where they're at. They know where this is us. This is as far as we're going to get, as good as we're going to get. I think when you try to mask that in a team, and try to make it out that you're better than you actually are, you're then asking a little bit too much of the players, and the players know what their limits are. So then things start to fall apart. So, yeah, that's what I think about Everton. Chelsea, yeah, I mean, look, they've done a lot of business. Chelsea, they still look
still going.
Yeah, they still look a solid team to me, though. To be honest, they still look a solid team, and it's early season. Great win for them, that 3 points in the bag. I think Thomas Tuchel will be more than capable of keeping Chelsea in that top four this season. I know everybody's looking at Tottenham, but I don't know. There's just something telling me that Tottenham they won't do it. I think with I know we'll get onto them, but yeah. Anyway, that's what I think with Chelsea and Everton.
Yeah, what do you think, Anthony? I think I agree with Talk there as well. The fact that Everton need a little bit more to rebuild. It's difficult for Frank Lampard as well, especially with buying a new stadium. It kind of reminds me of the whole Tottenham situation, where for a couple of seasons after getting their stadium, they couldn't really rebuild. But clearly, Spurs, we will talk about that anyway in a couple of games. But they've been backed. Conte's been backed. Do you think Lampard needs to be back now? He's got 3.5 weeks left to be able to rebuild something to at least stay out of that relegation zone, because it looks like they might dip into that at some point.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, Matt, I watched this game, and I got to be honest with you. I'm not going to say it's a good win for Chelsea, but it's a win. I mean, there were certain parts throughout the game it was a bit flat. There wasn't really nothing. It wasn't exciting, you know what I mean, sort of thing. So, I don't think Lampard is going to get backed. Obviously, they need players. To be honest with you, I think Frank Lampard, you could quote me on this one as well, I think he's the first manager that's going to be sacked this season.
Wow.
I really do. I really do.
Man. What's the odds on that? Have you put money on it?
You can put money on it. Have a look after the... put a quid on it. It might return you like a grand or something.
If I don't see you tomorrow, then I've won. All right.
All right then.
Thanks to you. But what makes you say that?
I just think it is. To be honest with you, I mean, it was going on the back end of last season as well. I mean, they weren't really performing well, was they? And when you look at it, it was down between Everton and Burnley to go down, and they pulled the luck out the bag. I mean, obviously, last season of the game, I think it was us that had Everton last game of the season. We beat them. I think it was 4-1 or something like that. But to be honest with you, they've sold their striker to Tottenham, haven't they? So, and they haven't really. Yeah, Richarlison. They haven't really got anybody in to replace him, really. So, and no good signings, to be honest with you. So he's going to have
Calvert-Lewin, what's happened?
I think I think he will. I think he will get games, and he will play him, obviously. But I don't think he's going to be as good as what he used to be. You know, obviously he did score a few goals. I think he even when Frank Lampard starts playing him, he's going to be on the goal drought. I don't think he wants to be there. I mean, I've heard some Everton fans saying in the stream that he's into modelling now. He's more into his modelling than his football. And this is what this
Boo-hoo.
boo-hoo. Yeah, boo-hoo. But that's what I've been hearing, like, sort of thing. But I got to be honest with you, I think Everton are going to find it hard. I don't think he's going to have the backing of the owners unless they get new owners in, obviously. And I think he will be. I think he'd be one of the first managers out the door. And I'm sorry to say it if anybody's watching this and they're Everton fans, but I'm sorry, but that's the way I can see it going.
Well,
but sorry, I could just jump in quickly. I think that one of the things here with these clubs, like these clubs here, is it doesn't necessarily mean by spending loads of money that you're going to win anything. But what I will say is, I'll go back to what I said before about David Moyes with West Ham today. You've got to go out and give it a go. This modern football has moved on from that. You can't block teams out nowadays with these bigger, better teams with good players, right? You can't block them out forever for 90 minutes. You can't do it. And, you're doing themselves. I think that, your likes of your David Moyes and your Frank Lampards and all the rest of it, when they play this kind of football, are doing themselves a massive disjustice. And they should actually be braver, a lot braver.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I just think, Calvert-Lewin was in the England team recently as well. And it's just a bit of a shame that he's lost that. And he says he wants to be modelling, but then what made you a model? Wasn't it football?
Yeah.
Right. You got to be a better football player then, haven't you? I mean, you can't act like you just was made to be a model. It's football that made you a model, and now you want to change into that. That might be the case. I know, like Gucci have got Jack Grealish, and these things are very changing very rapidly. Matthew Baptist's Calvert-Lewin is too injury prone. I completely agree with that. Everton will struggle this season, and Luca says, "Big up." We've got a few more games to get through. We've got to try and do this in the next 25 minutes or so. Let's talk about Leeds 2, Wolves 1. How did you make about this game? Good result for Leeds. Wolves obviously not getting off to a good start. Let a few players go as well. Not brought in any players yet again. Another club from the Midlands not doing much business. Anthony, go for it. What do you think?
Well, I got to be honest with you. I think it's a good win for Leeds. If I was going to predict anything, I would have predicted that scoreline the other way around, 2-1 to Wolves. But I mean, fair play to Leeds. They've got on there. They played well. They were their passing that was good. The tackling, their style of play, they pretty much had it bang off on this game, and hence the result 2-1. I haven't been keeping up with Leeds, so I don't know if they've bought in any. I know that one of their main players was on about leaving, the winger, but I don't know if they've bought in anyone of top. Sorry,
for Wolves.
No, for Leeds.
You mean Rafinha? He's gone.
Rafinha, yeah, he's gone.
Oh, he's off. Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah,
but whether he can actually play for Barcelona is still up in the air. So that's good hit to
him.
Bastards.
Yeah, but is I thought he was really going to go to Manchester United. I said on one of your streams, didn't I? Towards the end of last season, if you remember.
Chelsea, wasn't it? Then Chelsea was like literally ready for it, and then Barcelona came in and goes, "We'll do that," but they can't actually do it right now. But please continue, Anthony. That's quite a funny story. But wait to see what happens.
Yeah, but to be honest with you, I think Leeds, they were one of my teams that I thought that were going to go down, along with Fulham and Bournemouth. And we look at this first game of the season and look how they've done. So it's going to be It's going to be an interesting season this season. I mean, the teams that that I thought were going to go down, they haven't played too bad this first game. I know it's just the first game, and there's a long way to go yet. But I mean, just on this, the results on the weekend, I think they done well. I think the only poor one that did the poor team that did this weekend, which obviously we'll be talking about, I think was Southampton. So it was.
Oh, sorry.
But yeah, I mean, Wolves are. I think Wolves can be. I don't think they'll go down. I think they'll struggle a bit this season because they've only got one player in. As far as I know, they've only signed one player, and but I mean, there's still talks about Ruben Neves. That's come out of the works again. So it's like what I said, and anything can happen there from now until the end of the window. I do think he would leave. Who he's going to go to, I don't know now. Your guess is as good as mine. I think he wants to stay in the Premier League, but you know, it'd be interesting.
Well, Man United need a bit of Space Jam, don't they? They need to get like a classic all-star team to be able to defeat all these monsters in the Premier League because we're not doing very good.
Yeah.
Talk MU.
It might go the other way around. It might go the other way around. Arsenal might get Neves and you might get Tielemans. You never know.
What do you make of that, Talk? But what do you make of the result as well? Double question.
Yeah, good result for Leeds. I think, to be fair, I don't know if you agree, Anthony, but it wasn't too dissimilar from Bielsa ball. You know, the Leeds are just throwing everything, all at once. Like, go and get it. Go on, just, everyone up the pitch. But I think with what he's doing there, Jesse Marsh, I think if he can keep his squad fresh, I think they played decent enough football to have a better season than the last season. You know what I mean? I know there was a bit of a ado with him and Bruno Lage. Don't know what it was all about, but I know there was a bit of a do. Wolves, I don't know. I don't really know what to make of Wolves. I think it's a bit too early for me to make any kind of comment on Wolves. I think I've never really been even when Espirito Santo was there. I wasn't really that convinced with what they were doing because it's so one-dimensional. You know what I mean? It was so kind of predictable and
blah. Yeah.
There's no kind of they can't sort of just maybe slow things down and be a little bit more intricate with their passing, for example, and move the ball well, quick, fast, move, pass, go, break down. Do you know what I mean? Just to slow games down, control the tempo and everything else. It's either one end or the other. They're up here, down there, up here, down there. So I think I'm not so sure at this moment where they will finish, but I think it was a good result for Leeds.
Would you take Neto at Man United, mate? So,
as it stands right now, yeah, of course. I'll just take new faces to come in because, like I said, I don't want to go back over what we've already said, but I think Ten Hag's in a position here where he's got to say to the board, look, you either give me some new players or I'm going to play the kids. Right? Simple as that. Because otherwise, I'm pissed. I'm pissing in the wind if I have to play this squad. It's as simple as that.
It's as simple as that. We're moving on then. Spurs 4, Southampton 1. Great result for Spurs. Anthony, I know you're going to be a little bit dismayed about talking about this, of course, being an Arsenal fan, but they did very well, mate. And they didn't even play like most of their new signings as well. They used some of their old school players. Son had a brilliant game. Kane played very well. Some brilliant passes from him as well. He's not necessarily just a number 9. He literally does come back and creates play, let alone just a goal scorer. What did you make of this game, mate?
Yeah, he's. I mean, first things first. It was a good game. I mean, the scoreline says it itself. I mean, Southampton went 1-0 up. I mean, it was. It was quite a surprise, a shock. But I mean, obviously, with Spurs coming back and scoring the 4 goals, I mean, I was watching the highlights last night on Match of the Day. It was, and it's like what you said with Harry Kane. Obviously, at a 9, he's coming back and he's allowing that. I think what it is, Conte is allowing him to come back so he can bring the players around him to come into the box and gel into the box.
Yeah.
So they've given him that more attacking opportunity.
So it brings the defence out, doesn't it? Yeah, to follow Kane.
Yeah,
the other players surround that area where he's missing. Yeah.
Yeah, you can actually see that, and obviously what they're doing and what he's trying to get over to the team as well, sort of thing. So, it's going to work. I've got to be honest with you. I think Tottenham are going to have a good season this season. I think they are. I think they're going to be. They're definitely going to finish in the top four. For me, and along with I think you've got was talking about Chelsea and how good they are. I think that they'll be in the top four as well. So I think it'd be Chelsea finishing fourth, and Spurs in my prediction. I've got them down for third this season, Tottenham. So but yeah, I can see everything coming in from this team. This is going to be a good Tottenham side this season. They're going to be fantastic, and obviously with their manager as well, with Conte, having an elite manager helps. I mean, he don't stand there messing about, does he, Conte, in one way? So, he can get a few across to the players, and I think they're on about producing youth into that team as well, but not all the time, just gradually bringing them up in certain games and giving them a run about as well. So he's got a lot to play with, Conte. Obviously they got a good squad numbers within depth as well. If they get injuries, they got certain players that Conte can rotate the system around. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting. And I feel sorry for Southampton, but I think they might be one of the teams going down this season.
Might be a bit of a problem for Southampton, right, Talk? And I think Anthony's right as well. I think they've backed Conte this summer transfer window, mate, and he's got the players that he wanted to do or wanted to have. Simply with Champions League as well, it does suit them, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, look, but I will stick with what I've said earlier on, which is I still don't think Tottenham are going to be able to have enough to really challenge anybody for any real major honours. I just don't see it. And with Chelsea, I think, well, you've got Chelsea, Manchester City, Liverpool, Arsenal. When we get to Arsenal, we will talk about Arsenal. But it's them. There's teams that I see that are going to be a real problem for Tottenham, and they're not going to be able to get. They're not going to get the result. They're just not, because again, as good as Antonio Conte is, it's all a bit one-dimensional. It's all a bit kind of predictable. You know what I mean? And it's not. And when you say predictable, it's not as in predictable as in it's like right at your throat, bam, gone. Like Liverpool, just kill you. Liverpool kill you. They take the air from around you, so you can't breathe. That's where it's different. But for Tottenham, I don't see them doing it. If I'm honest with you. And again, what I will say as well is, I can see it. This is all heading for me with Tottenham. Antonio Conte, yeah, you say you spent money in the summer, blah blah blah. They're going to get sort of 3/4 of the way through the season. Towards the January transfer window, and he's going to realise he still needs more. He wants a little bit more. Daniel Levy's going to be like, no, can't. So Conte is going to start upping and puffing, and it's all it takes is one little thing to go wrong. Conte to pull a wobbler, and everything's just going to go down the pan with Spurs. And I say it now, so when it happens, we'll refer back to this stream, bro. Southampton, I think. It's a difficult one because I do rate Hassan Hüttl. I do rate him. I think it's the squad that he's got there. It's not the greatest squad, but it's about trusting in the manager and what he's trying to do. And it looks to me like some of the players are just not doing that.
They're a selling club, aren't they?
Yeah.
But I definitely agree with you, Talk. I'm just going to shout out the last two. We're not going to talk about them because we've only got 10 minutes. Newcastle beating Nottingham Forest 2-0. Of course, this is vengeance for Newcastle because they wanted Jesse Lingard and he goes to Nottingham Forest for 200,000 a week and loses his first game of the season. So you've got to laugh about that. We'll leave that through. Bournemouth beating Aston Villa 2-0 as well. Their first game in the Premier League. What a great comeback for them. But I really wanted to end it off with
That's a shocker.
The two important games I think we really want to talk about. Fulham 2, Liverpool 2. Wow, Mitrovic, what a bloody performance from him. And look, Liverpool were losing 2-1 right at the end of the game as well. This is fantastic for Fulham. You saw the crowd that were backing them as well. I think it was a remarkable performance for them being newcomers into the Premier League this season. What did you make of it, Anthony?
Yeah, I thought it was a good game. When I actually first saw Fulham being 2-0 up, I couldn't believe it. I was like, have I read that right? And with regard to the first 2 goals, I got to be honest with you. With Liverpool, I felt like it was a bit like Manchester United today. I thought it was a little bit poor in defence. I told a friend of mine that he was a Liverpool fan as well, and he said, "Well, we didn't play that bad." I thought, "Well, hang on, Fulham went 2-0 up, so obviously your defence must have made some errors in that game." So that's that. Then it was 2-1. I thought they were a little bit lucky towards the end to make it 2-2. I really wanted it to be a 2-1 to Fulham, but listen, I mean, he's a good Liverpool team, and I know it's first game of the season. We keep saying this, but Fulham, in all fairness, they played absolutely brilliant. You couldn't fault them in this game.
Oh, amazing!
At all, not one bit at all. So, for anybody looking at Fulham to probably go down this season, I know just judging on this one game and one game alone, is enough to make you change your mind. Do you know what I'm saying? So, is that? But I mean, fair play to Fulham. Everything was spot on in that game.
It was, wasn't it? Do you agree with Anthony there, Talk? It was terrific to see Fulham at least give a battle on their first game against the team that's pretty much won 3 cups in the last 4 or 5 months. So fair play to them, right? They won the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, and the Community Shield. So
it's
a team.
I mean, look, Liverpool obviously, Klopp was disappointed, and they wasn't the best Liverpool performance you've ever seen, which was pleasing for me, obviously. I think with Fulham did play very well indeed, but however, we've got to ask the question. Look, you're just new to the Premier League. Your first game, you're coming up against the team that nearly did the quadruple. We're so close to it that everybody was talking about. This team, one of the greatest teams in Europe at the moment. You know what that means? You're getting yourself up for that game. You are getting yourself up. Now, the problem that Scott Parker's going to have here is, if he can bottle that and that enthusiasm, that energy, and that desire for the coming games, even against when they come up against, Nottingham Forest, for example, he's got to have that same desire, the same passion, the same energy right throughout the season. If they do that, I think Scott Parker could have a blinding season. He really could. He could surprise everybody, because I think he was getting a lot of stick a few seasons ago. And, but in terms of Liverpool, I think, look, bad day at the office for Liverpool, and I'm sure Jurgen Klopp has got enough in his locker to go in there and fix it up quick.
But Klopp did say after the game, his excuse was the ground was too dry. Yeah, dry pitch.
Well, I mean, he's got to give some excuse on it. You know what I mean? It's
Fulham didn't make that drawing, did they?
And then if he plays poor next game Liverpool, he'll say the ground was too sticky. So you know what I'm saying? We got to.
One thing that there was no ground. We were playing on air.
Yeah.
We were playing on clouds. Where was the ground? There wasn't anything. Oh, there's any excuse. Like, Fulham didn't come out and go, well, we could have won that game today, but the ground was a bit dry. Like, I didn't hear that from Fulham. They were going, actually played a bloody good game against a team that should be able to beat us. You've all played football on a Sunday when it's bloody pissing down with rain and it's muddy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like the home team went, or the away team went, oh, well, yes, this is in our favour. We'll play better, because nothing. Like, it's 11 versus 11. No matter what the ground is like, you should be able to, if you've got the right players and the right team, to beat any team on any pitch that is what it is. And I just feel that was a stupid comment from Jurgen Klopp. Crystal Palace 0, Arsenal 2. Just to finish it off, guys, I know Marley's going to be doing a vlog tomorrow about this. So just a quick reaction, Anthony, go for it first.
Well, the first things first, I'm quite happy with the scoreline, scoring 2 goals and keeping a clean sheet. I mean, the 2 signings made a difference. That Zinchenko, he really played well. He had a shot just past the halfway line. That literally went over the bar, so he looked promising. He was at left back, obviously, because Kieran Tierney didn't. He didn't play. He come on, but they swapped him. They did a swap in the second half for each other. I thought to myself, what a bloody substitution that is, to take off a good left back and bring another one on. So that was good. Jesus, I feel that, a bit like what we was discussing about with Harry Kane. He's there, he's lingering around in the box with his pace, his skill, his eye for goal. He's sort of trying to bring defenders out. Do you know what I mean? So he can sort of like step through, and you can see that. You can see what he's doing. It looks promising. Obviously, didn't get on the score sheet, but listen, we've got Leicester City next week, so hopefully we can most probably get a win there, and get a win at our ground, and then obviously Jesus to be on the score sheet.
Well, you'd like that, wouldn't you? By the way, Matthew Bassett, sorry.
Definitely.
It is Marco Silva's at Fulham.
Yeah, I know.
Marco used to be at Fulham, now he's at Bournemouth. It is confusing, that one, so I apologise for that. Talk, what did you make of this result quickly with Palace and Arsenal?
I think I'm going to upset Anthony and any Arsenal fans watching. I think the scoreline flattered Arsenal a little bit. I just think the only problem that you had with Crystal Palace, their defending was chronic. It was poor. They were poor defensively, Crystal Palace. So, I mean, Jesus, you know what? He's bringing a certain amount of goals in his locker, but whether he's going to reach those goal heights in the shirt of Arsenal is obviously what we're all waiting to see. He's got off to a great start. That's granted, but I think whether Arsenal will perform when they need to perform against a team that is actually more solid defensively, that's another question. So, good result for Arsenal. Poor start for Palace. Poor defending. I think Patrick Vieira would have been very, very disappointed with his performance at the back for his team. But that's work in progress for him. It's only his second season. I think he did well last season, to be fair. And I did say he would do well. I remember saying that he would do well. So, it's just a case of let's just see what transpires ahead of us.
Indeed. That is the end of the show. We've got through all the results. This is the Premier League weekend show. We will be back next Sunday, and I think Marley will be delving into Arsenal's result tomorrow for Gunners from All Corners. Let's shout out where they can find you, everybody. Smash a like, share, subscribe if you are watching. Thank you so much for tuning in on this beautiful Sunday evening. Anthony, start with you, mate. Where can we find you, bro?
You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at my name, at Anthony Herbert. You can also find me on this channel here, Matt's Football United TV. You can also find me on S Weekly TV, Leicester Till I Die, and Dugout Daily as well.
Brilliant. Thank you, Anthony, mate.
Cheers, mate.
So, where can we find you apart from Zor?
Yeah, Planet. You find me on floating on Planet Zorg, but no, you'll find me on my own channel, Football versus Cancer. I think everybody's aware of that now, anyway. And also on the Man United Agenda and on Twitter at iTalkMU.
Brilliant talk. Thank you very much, you guys. And what a brilliant weekend it is and has been for the Premier League. Brilliant. Brilliant advertisement. I'm hoping everybody's enjoyed it as well. Top show as always. Big up to Matthew Bassett as well.
Matthew Bassett. You need to get Matthew Bassett on again, bro.
I do. Well, we're doing United Across the Globe on Tuesday, Matt. So if you want to come on, I will send you a message. Yeah.
I was on a stream with him with Mr. Bean Talk Friday night, wasn't it? But that was 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what a good stream that was. I really enjoyed that with him. He was a good guy, Matthew.
I like Matt, and I love Brush as well. Brush is cool guy. Them two guys are cool. Really good Man United fans. We are finishing up now, though. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody, and tune in tomorrow for Gunners from All Corners. And United Across the Globe will be back Tuesday, and this show will be back again next week, 6:30 p.m. on a Sunday. Until then, take care, everybody. Enjoy. Ta-ta.
Ciao.